Joy to be back here in India with all of you. The reading today is Affirmation for Self-Healing by Swami Kriyananda on humility. Humility is not self-deprecation. It is self-forgetfulness. It is knowing that God alone is the doer. It is the realization that nothing in this shadow world of appearances is all that important, except as it draws us closer to the Lord. Never tell yourself that you are sinful, or weak, or incompetent, or lazy, except as such a statement may help you to surrender joyfully to God's power. Then live by that power. Never wear the mask of false humility. Humility is self-acceptance and self-honesty. You have a right to all power if you seek it in infinity, and if you never hold the thought that it resides in your little self. And let's affirm together, I live by thy power, Lord.
I live by thy power, Lord.
What I have is ever thine, ever thine.
What I have is ever thine, ever thine.
I live by thy power, Lord.
I live by thy power, Lord.
What I have is ever thine, ever thine.
What I have is ever thine, ever thine.
I live by thy power, Lord.
I live by thy power, Lord.
What I have is ever thine, ever thine.
What I have is ever thine, ever thine.
And whispering, I live by thy power, Lord.
I live by thy power.
What I have is ever thine, ever thine.
What I have is ever thine.
And silently, I live by thy power, Lord. What I have is ever thine, ever thine. And please pray silently with me. Thou art the doer, Lord, not I. Express thy perfection through me, as I strive ever eagerly to live in thy light. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Good morning and welcome to our Sunday Satsang. It's a great joy for me to be back. I'll tell you, New York is a lot different than Bangalore. I feel so happy. This is a reading from Whispers from Eternity, and it is on My Guru by Paramahansa Yogananda, and he's writing it to his guru, Sri Yukteshwar. Thou light of my life, thou camest to spread wisdom's glow over the path of my soul. Centuries of darkness dissolve before the shafts of thy luminous help. As a naughty baby, I cried for my mother divine, and she came to me as my guru, Swami Sri Yukteshwar. At that meeting, O my guru, a spark flew from thee, and the faggots of my God-craving, gathered through incarnation, smoldered and blazed into bliss. All my questions have been answered with thy flaming golden touch. Eternal, ever-present satisfaction has come to me through thy glory. My Guru, thou voice of God, I found thee in response to my soul cries. Slumbers of sorrow are gone, and I am awake in bliss. If all the gods are displeased, yet thou art pleased, I am safe in the fortress of thy pleasure. And if all the gods protect me behind the parapets of their blessings, yet I receive not thy benedictions, I am an orphan, left to pine spiritually in the ruins of thy displeasure. O Guru, thou didst bring me out of the bottomless pit of darkness into the paradise of peace. Our souls met after years of waiting. They trembled with an omnipresent thrill. We met here because we had met before. Together we will fly to his shores, where we shall smash our planes of finitude forever and vanish into infinite life. I bow to thee as the spoken voice of silent God. I bow to thee as the divine door which leads to the temple of salvation. I bow to thee, to thy master, Lahiri Mahashaya, harbinger of yoga in Benares, and I lay the flowers of my devotion at the feet of Babaji, our Supreme Master. today we're honoring Sri Yukteshwar's resurrection. And it is an extraordinary event. It's an extraordinary thing. When you think about it, our guru, through the autobiography of a yogi, has shared a supernatural experience that no one else has been able to write about and to help us to understand the power and the spiritual greatness of these masters that have come to free us from our delusions and give us the same oneness with God that they have. Sri Yukteswar came out of compassion. Master came out of compassion. Lahiri Mahashaya, Babaji, Jesus Christ. They came out of compassion for us, for our predicament in this world. They know us. And Sri Yukteswar, his relationship with Master is the perfect example, the perfect description of what our relationship should be with our Guru. It's so beautiful. He writes so much about Sri Yukteswar in this book. The whole chapter on cosmic consciousness, when he had his first experience of God. The whole chapter on the years in my Master's hermitage. 10 years he was with Master in that hermitage in Serampore. 10 years of discipline, 10 years of learning, 10 years of accepting his Guru's wishes. It's extraordinary that he wrote about it, and we can read about it in this book. This book is a holy book. And then the last resurrection of Sri Yukteswar in chapter 43, it's extraordinary. You should read it. I've been reading it because we were doing this satsang, but each I've read it many, many times, but this was a very special time when I was reading it, because there was so much in it about the astral world and the cosmic dream and the causal world and all of these things that we have so many questions about, what it's really like in the astral world. What's it like? But for me, what I got out of it this time was that we are caught in this dream. And Sri Yukteswar came and resurrected his body to show us that we don't have to be caught because it's a dream. It's a dream. This reality that we think is so real, we're so caught up in it. We're so worried. We're so wondering how it's all going to turn out, and how are the kids going to be, and how's the weather, and how's the finances, and how's the future, and how's our security, and what about the world? It's a dream. Think of it. Sri Yukteswar resurrected his body to show us that this is not but a dream. When we leave this world, the physical body will be gone. We are souls, everlasting, pure, free souls that are spending a very short time in this body. Very short time. This is just a vessel. This is just a time where we're working out karma. And so Sri Yukteswar came and he showed us through his resurrection that we don't need to be worried, that we don't need to ever think that we are alone and that this is all there is. This is a dream. We should meditate on those words. This life is a dream. Sri Yukteswar's resurrection, the astral world, the causal body, even that's a dream. But what's reality? What is reality? Reality is when we merge into God, when we become one with God, when we realize our oneness, when we realize, that's what self-realization is, when we realize, oh, I knew there was more. And you're home, you're resting in God. That love is pouring through you. You become one with that love, and you understand that it's always been there, and it will always be. There's nothing more powerful than love. You know, I was watching a video of Swami recently. It was so sweet. And he was at Master's Mahasamadhi in Los Angeles. And there was a ceremony there. And Jyotish was with him. And he was answering questions from the public, right? There was Master's Mahasamadhi right behind him, and he was answering questions. It was quite unique and very powerful. And one of the questions was, Swamiji, what is your sadhana? What do you do for your sadhana? And he just thought a moment, and he said, well, I energize, and I meditate, and I practice Kriya the way Master taught me. And then he paused again, and he said, I give every thought to God. I think of God constantly. I ask God what to do in every situation. I ask God to speak through me. I offer myself to God every moment of the day. He said, that's my sadhana. This is so beautiful. That should be our sadhana. Because when you are in that light, and when you are that close to the Guru, and every situation in our life is given over to God, we feel the power that can come through us to make every situation a one of healing. A situation, we could be healers in our life right now. We can feel the Guru coming through. We have to be aware. We have to give our thoughts to God. We can be resurrected in every single moment of our lives. We resurrect our consciousness up into the light, and that light comes through us. That light we begin to recognize as ourselves. Our families deserve it. The people we work with deserve it. This world needs it. They need to know that there's something other than this dream. And we know, because the Guru has come into our lives and the Guru has expanded our consciousness. We have that gift. We have been given a gift, and a gift is to be shared. And it's a gift of pure love. It's a gift of the Guru. We have that in us. So when we share that in this world, our whole world changes. You know, I was in New York recently. We all know that my daughter was sick and I had to go back for several hospital visits and surgeries and cleaning and cooking and laundry and all of these things. Oh my gosh, I don't think I've been so busy since she was first born, because she was incapacitated. But there I was in her little studio in New York, and I was getting into the dream. I was forgetting it was a dream. I was so tired, and I'd wake up and I'd think, oh my God, I have to go call the laundry, and I have to go this and that, and I was forgetting. But I would meditate every day. Well, one day, I just thought, oh my God, I don't know how I can do this. And then I had this thought, I can do it for you. It was so sweet. It was just a thought, I can do it for you. And so then I remembered, oh, I'm not being like Swami. I am not giving every thought to God. I am not really offering myself into this situation. I'm not bringing Divine Mother into it. I'm just doing it with my ego and my tired little body and my little limited way of thinking. I was just thinking, I have to do this, I have to do this. But as soon as I changed my thought, then peace came into my heart. And I knew it was all going to be okay. And it was okay. And then I started to get more energy. And that's what Swami said. His sadhana is giving every thought to God. So when we think of Sri Yukteswar's resurrection, it's not just this event for Master. It wasn't just for Master. The very last words that Sri Yukteswar said to Master when he was leaving this beautiful experience, when he was leaving Master in Bombay, he said, tell all. Tell all. And that's why Yogananda has come for each one of us, these gurus. They've come to tell us that we too can have those experiences, that we too can feel God's presence every moment of our lives. We don't have to wait. We don't have to wait until we're finally one with God. We have to take baby steps. We're not there yet. I realized it when I was in New York, but we do have the Guru. What a blessing. And when you put your hand in the hand of the Guru, he guides you. He won't let you down. He will never let you down. He told us he would never give up his job about us. And so we need to meditate so that we can break away from this reality that we say is reality. This is not reality. The more you meditate, the more you realize that your consciousness is expanded beyond this body. You begin to feel aware. You begin to become very much aware that your soul is in everything, that your soul is in God. And then you can just back off a little bit. Take a step back. Take a step back from this reality and ask God to bless you. Give your thoughts to Him. Give your actions to Him. Your life will become illuminated. I experienced it. That's why I shared it with you. I was in it. And then I remembered it was a dream and that Master would do it for me. It was so simple. It wasn't like I had to go read scripture and do 108 Kriyas and do anything. All I did was ask, I'm losing it. Please help me. I want you. I don't want to lose myself here. Immediately, just like that, I had that thought. And so He's there. Divine Mother's there every moment. Yes, we have our responsibilities, we have our karma, we have our dharma. We can't run off to the Himalayas. Would that we all could. We would be all so happy together. I would love that life. But we can't right now. But we can bring the Himalayas here. We can bring the Gurus here. And that's our greatest gift. That's our responsibility. Many years ago, I was able to visit Sri Yukteshwar's ashram in Serampore. And this was before, now they don't let you into his room. As the years go on, they start putting things behind bars and putting, they don't let you in. But I got to go in, and it was being taken care of by one of Master's relatives. And I was just so touched by it, because when it was in Serampore, and this was where Master was with Swami for 10 years. And you walk in the room, you walk up the stairs, and here's this very simple room. Right now it's decaying because it was, more than 100 years ago. But I walked in the room, and there's just these little sandals by the bed, these worn little bamboo sandals, a bed with a little worn cover on it, a picture of Lahiri Mahashaya with a mala. And that was all. One chair. And here was this great guru. You walk in, you felt his presence so strongly. He was there, emanating the power of God in that little simple room. And so that is for us. We're in our little simple lives, but we can bring the power of God into those lives. We don't need great palaces and huge ashrams and fancy things. All we need is the love of God in our heart. We need open hearts. Then God can come to us. Simple life. That's how He can come through. We are so complicated now. This is a very difficult time right now to calm your mind and open your heart. But we should really support one another in that. Because this is the gift we've been given, and this is the gift we need to share with the world. And that's what satsang is. Not too many people. Believe me, I was in New York. Thousands of people. There's like 9 million people. Millions of people. And rushing, going. But I would think of Ananda, and I would think of our little center here, and the devoted souls of each one of you, and the devotion and the love of God, and how that is spreading. It was just it was helpful to me to know this was here. Think of what other people are being helped by your sadhana, your satsang. They're just thinking, wow, they're there, they're meditating, they're all together, they're my spiritual family. They're going to see me through. It's so reassuring. We need to help one another. We need to pray for one another, because it's not easy. It's not easy, but it can be done, because that's why Master came to show us how it can be done. Don't criticize each other and judge each other, because you know what? everybody's doing the best they can for who they are. Isn't it true? Aren't we all doing the best we can for who we are? We can't do any better. And so when you're getting positive vibes from your guru bhais and you're open to that, you can grow a little bit more. You can relax a little bit. You can love more. You can be an instrument for the light. So that's our job. I wanted to close just with reading just a little bit of this chapter from the resurrection of Sri Yukteshwar. And this is the very end of the chapter. I have now told you, Yogananda, the truths of my life, death, and resurrection. Grieve not for me. Rather, broadcast everywhere the story of my resurrection from the God-dreamed earth of men to another God-dreamed planet of astrally garbed souls. New hope will be infused into the hearts of misery, death-fearing dreamers of this world. Yes, Master, how willingly would I share with others my joy at his resurrection. On earth, my standards were uncomfortably high, unsuited to the natures of most men. Often I scolded you more than I should have. You passed my test. Your love shone through the clouds of all reprimands. He added tenderly, I have also come today to tell you, never again shall I wear the stern gaze of censure. I shall scold you no more. How much I had missed the chastisements of my great guru. Each one had been a guardian angel of protection. Dearest Master, rebuke me 1,000,000 times. Do scold now. I shall chide you no more. His divine voice was grave, yet with an undercurrent of laughter. You and I shall smile together so long as our two forms appear different in the Maya dream of God. Finally, we shall merge as one in the cosmic beloved. Our smile shall be his smile, our unified song of joy vibrating throughout eternity to be broadcast to God-tuned souls. Sri Yukteswar gave me light on certain matters which I cannot reveal here. During the 2 hours that he spent with me in the Bombay hotel room, he answered my every question. A number of world prophecies uttered by him that June day in 1936 have already come to pass. I leave you now, beloved one. At these words I felt Master melting away within my encircling arms. My child, his voice rang out, vibrating into my very soul firmament. Whenever you enter the door of Nirvikalpi Samadhi and call on me, I shall come to you in flesh and blood, even as today. With this celestial promise, Sri Yukteswar vanished from my sight. A cloud voice repeated in musical thunder, tell all, whosoever knows by Nirvikalpi Samadhi realization that your earth is a dream of God, can come to the finer dream-created planet of Hiranaloka, and there find me resurrected in a body exactly like my earthly one. Yogananda, tell all. Gone was the sorrow of parting, the pity and grief for his death, long robber of my peace, now fled in stark shame. Bliss poured forth like a fountain through endless newly opened soul pores. Anciently clogged with disuse, they now widened in purity at the driving flood of ecstasy. Subconscious thoughts and feelings of my past incarnations shed their karmic taints, lustrously renewed by Sri Yukteswar's divine visit. And so it's not so far away for each one of us to experience the resurrection of our own souls. All we have to do is be sincere. All we have to do is keep on trying. All we have to do is love, because it's all love. Don't think too much. We'll never figure it out intellectually. We'll only figure it out through love. So with an open heart and the energy of a true disciple and a true devotee, let's join together and find God together in this lifetime. It's possible. God bless you all.